So how dark does he get this year compared to previous seasons?
I'm going to turn that around. How dark? I mean, it's like, this show is like, it's 50 Shades of Black. I mean, how many different shades? It's dark. I mean, listen. We go into some pretty dark spaces. I mean, the world's in a pretty dark fucking place right now as well. I mean, and we're right there in with them. I think one of the reasons we fell in love with this character of Damon Salvatore initially is that he had the ability to be very dark, sadistic, but at the same time, he was righteous. He had ill intent, but he had righteous reasons for having those ill intentions. And those are ultimately the most dangerous people in the world. Look what's going on in the world right now. Look at Munich. Look at Orlando. Look at anything we see around us. Ill intent with righteousness makes you very dangerous. And that's what Damon always has been. Now, when we come into the season, we see Damon and Enzo. We know these guys. We know them to be very cool, calm, collected, super dark, funny characters who basically live with an immense amount of free will. Now that free will has been stripped from them, and now they're forced to do things they don't want to do. And so that kind of conflict, that push and that pull is really fun as an actor to play. And it's really fun to watch. And so the level of darkness that comes out of it, Damon is doing the bidding of some other entity that's really got his head locked in. And it's really karma. Damon's just done that to so many people. I mean, the dark shit that we did, like season 1, I remember episode 2 of season 1 of this show, Damon, if you remember, was compelling and seducing and effectively like raping 17-year-old Caroline. I mean, that's some dark shit. But he was funny while he was doing it, and he was righteous in his intent. It doesn't get much darker than that, you know what I mean? And so, going from that guy to now having to do what some other entity wants him to do is a cool shift. It's a cool transition.
Do you want him to have a happy ending with Elena?
Happy endings don't happen in Mystic Falls, but for Mystic Falls' sake, because Kevin explained to me, it's really funny. I don't know if you guys remember this name, Marco Siega. He directed our pilot. He was our supervising producer, our on-the-ground director-producer of season 1, going into season 2. He and Julie and Kevin established the look of the show, the feel of the show. He came right off of Dexter. He does all Kevin's stuff now. Everything Kevin does, Marco Siega directs, produces, all of it. And I remember the first table read for this show. He slams down the script, and he walks in and he says, "Welcome back, everybody," because we got picked up for the show, and the pilot was great. And he says, I just want you to read the title of the show. It's called The Vampire Diaries. Not the Elena Diaries, not the Stefan Diaries, not the Damon Diaries. It's The Vampire Diaries. This is a story about a town and the diaries of any vampires we want. None of you are safe. Any of you could be killed at any given moment. Show up on time, be nice, do good work, and you'll stick around. And I thought, oh shit, man. This just happened to me 3 years ago on Lost. But the happy ending I could see is that this girl gets to live her life, never even knowing these two brothers exist. Talking about the most epic case of robbing the cradle. You have these guys that are like 160, 170 years old, dating an 18-year-old. Honestly, if this town could be rid of vampires and forget that they existed, I think it would be such an amazing moment for humans, just to be able to go back and live their life. And as a human, as an audience member, realizing that these supernatural beings came in and out of time to serve the purpose of this story, but at the end of the day, it's about humanity. That's what every story is about. It's about humanity. So Paul and I think that the boys, the Salvatore brothers, should go to some beautiful island in the Caribbean and in their Speedos, sit on the beach all night, looking up at the moon, bonding as brothers, drinking like 60-year-old Barbados rum. And when the sun comes up, they should have their final toast, give each other a hug, and throw their rings into the sea, and then just...
Well, that's a happy ending.
That's a happy ending.
As twisted as it sounds.
They're in a great place. They had great lives. Do I have to go? Oh shit! Thank you guys for being so awesome. Thank you for all the support and all the love. We couldn't do it without you. So.